Hello and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. All right, and here we are back. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and with me is always former UConn star. He is the host of the hit podcast, All Black Men Need Therapy, and so do I. He is a mental health advocate, a champion for fathers' rights. Chris.
What's up, Cully? How are you, man?
So great to see you. So great to see you.
Likewise.
We all the guys were talking about you and asking about you at the golf tournament. So,
dude, I wanted to go. I wanted to go so bad. I just had so much stuff going on. And
yeah.
Then I got the weekends confused. I thought it was.
I did too.
It was, yeah. So I'm not missing another one, especially because, I mean, Coach B's getting up there. You know, granted, he got the energy. Him. He got the energy of a 50-year-old, but
God bless him.
You know, I just want to make sure I can get out there, spend some time with him.
We had a ball, and it was just good to see everyone. And you know, we talked about that culture that was built. And you definitely see it with the guys that we have there.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I missed it. I wanted to go. I know Uwe wasn't able to play, but I think he said he was going to pop by to kind of see some folks. Yeah.
He had Jeremiah. So we're going to try to plan some events during the season for the home games to get guys together. We had a meeting afterwards to try to get that organized because I think we have to take it upon ourselves more as football alumni as opposed because the C Club can't do it all. So I said, we can do it. We got Darby. He's got the Facebook page. We got a website. I said, we can figure it out. And you know, Coach Candle was outstanding. Like I wasn't sold on him. And after he spoke, he really won me over. And I had a chance to talk with him. He really won me over. bought in. He was very great. He was very, very good with the alumni. And he gave us a lot of respect and credit, which I did not expect. So him and his staff is excellent. They were excellent.
Yeah, I still haven't met him. I mean, the crazy thing is, dude, I didn't even meet Mora. Every time, I
didn't either.
No, I thought if anybody, I thought you met him. I thought you for sure met him.
No, man, he was a ghost, dude. You never. And I was there.
That's what I'm saying.
I was there 4 straight days. I was in the Burton complex 4 days in a row. I didn't see him once.
That's crazy.
And I told you about Jamal Lundy, who drove up there with a recruit, and Baylock gave him a tour. He met with Kashif, and that was it. He didn't get to meet more or anything.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know Lundy was training some guys for a while. So.
Yes. He coaches and he trained. He had this receiver who was the Maryland State Player of the Year. This kid was 6'4". He was like 170. He had over 2,000 yards receiving as a junior.
Jesus.
And I like dude was Randy Moss, and we knew he was going to blow up. And we talked to him in February, and he said, "Listen, I love UConn. I love the basketball program. I love football. I would go there." And Jamal and I are like, "Okay, we got to get this done." We tried. We called. We sent film. Kashif had a receiver that he liked from his old high school, who they ended up taking. He was like 5'9", but this kid returned kicks. The kid from Maryland. So they invited Jamal up for a spring practice. He went up. He drove the kid himself all the way from Maryland, 8 hours or whatever.
Wow.
And they got a tour from Coach B. They watched practice. He met with Kashif, and that was it. And I was like, God.
Where'd the kid end up?
Northwestern.
Big Ten. Yeah.
He was offered by Syracuse. He was offered by Temple. He was offered by Virginia.
Maryland, I hope. Did Maryland not offer him?
No, Maryland. I don't think Maryland did. Not that wasn't one of the schools. He was offered by Vanderbilt. And UConn came down eventually, and they had him run, but they didn't think he was fast enough. He ran a 4.57. I'm like, guys,
that's fine. I mean,
high school kids don't run 4.4s. Like,
and it's like, what's his game? Rare. What's his game speed? Right? Like, what are we really talking about? But I'm not in the business for a reason.
No, I know.
But
I know it drove us nuts.
Yeah. Kosh actually, I was with him this past weekend. He actually,
Penn State.
Yeah, he offloaded all his old UConn gear to me, so I got a bunch of stuff. Most of it I can't fit because he's a damn medium. But
God bless.
I took the large stuff, But yeah.
God bless him. That's such a great story. I mean, I believe he was at SUNY Albany, wasn't he?
He was at. Is University of Albany and SUNY Albany two different things?
Yeah, University of Albany.
Yeah, so he was there.
I coached against him at Albany.
Yeah, so he was at Albany, but before that, he was with Joey V at Cornell. Yes.
Yeah. So I give him so much credit for working his way up, and
he you know where he started? He started with Coach Sass at Connor.
I did hear that. Yeah. Yes.
Started.
So that's why I give him so much credit for sticking with it and everything.
Yeah,
so I'm very happy that he got to Penn State. We had an interesting question. This came from somebody who is at an ACC school, and he said, Chris, Steve, I have been watching your show for the last several months, and it has been a blessing in disguise. I am asking because I don't know how to go about doing this, but I think it needs to be done. We had a vote, and as a football team, we would like to unionize and collectively bargain. It's happened at other schools, and we know we have to get a rep, and we were curious if Chris, obviously not me, if Chris would know the process about starting a union for the football team.
First of all,
this idea.
I love these questions.
Throw them right. I throw you the most complex question right off the bat.
But it's okay because it speaks to the evolution of the athlete.
Yeah.
Like I get it, man. Like I love it. So one of the things about being resourceful is to understand that you can't do it all. So, like, listen, I'm extremely clear on my strengths, right? And what I'm good at, and where I can add value and things like that. So if the person who's asking was my kid or a family member or a close friend's son or whatever, if that was my relationship and somebody asked me this, the first person I would call is my guy, Pat Capra, from Legend Sports Group. That's who I would call. Pat, he represents a number of college athletes. He represents a number of NFL players. He represents analysts on ESPN.
Oh, wow.
So I would call my guy, Pat Capra. I can put his Instagram in the chat.
And that's something like he's
an agent. He's an agent. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
okay.
And obviously there's lawyers on his team and everything like that. Because I have no idea. I mean, I think it's a great conversation starter. I mean, but you have to remember, it's like, these aren't popular, like fun fact. And you may remember this, Cully. And I don't think you ever worked there, but
when Dartmouth did it.
No, dude, I'm not even talking about that. Oh. So I just put it's Pat Capra 13 on Instagram. But anyway,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So at UConn, we all had summer jobs. Our summer job, me, Mo Lloyd, and maybe one other person, but definitely me and Mo Lloyd, we worked at Budweiser. It just so happens that they went on strike during that time. It was a union dispute. So they went on strike. So we were temp labor. We just got that job because someone high up at Budweiser, I think was a booster or something like that. So Edsel got us the job, whatever. And it was the best paying summer job. The hardest work, but the best paying summer job.
Correct.
Anyway, they went on strike. So we had built relationships with these guys. Yeah. So we're like, well, we're not going in either. And then our boss's boss called us and was like, and he was super cool, but he was like, hey guys, if you don't come in, you're not going to have a job to come back to.
He wanted you to cross.
So I called Edsel and I'm like, dude, what do we do? Long story short, me and Mo went back. And so my point in saying that is you have to be okay with the repercussions that come with trying to revolutionize your team, right? Because most companies, not all, most companies don't want people to unionize.
No.
Because it limits their, it limits their flexibility.
Their control over.
Yeah, control overall. Yeah, 100%. Because if you have a union, that means everything has strict guidelines. everything is regimented.
Yes.
You know, there's no margin for error. There's no gray. It's like spelled out. So
everything is agreed upon.
Yeah. So if you're asking me what I would do, I would reach out to my man PC Pat Capra 13 at Legacy Legend Sports Agency and see how he can help you because he negotiates contracts for a living.
And
so that's what I would do because I mean.
He said that it's because practice, I guess, had just begun, and the schedule is quite different than it had been in the past.
You should have probably led with that, Cully. My answer probably have been different.
I didn't. He just said that. I didn't know.
Oh, he's listening now. Okay.
Yeah. No.
So all right.
That's what he told me.
This is where the old guy comes in, right? This is where I might show my age a little bit, man. I struggle with this piece. I struggle with having sympathy for things like practice schedules.
Well, yeah, because we did doubles. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had 2 a days, 1 a day, 2 a days, 1 a day was our schedule. And you know, I don't know. Like it's like, what are we talking about? Is it if it's just practice? Would.
He claims that the walkthroughs are not really walkthroughs.
Dude, that's Division I football. If you're in the ACC,
that's what I'm trying to say. It's full
Division I football. Yeah, like I was just talking about this other day because one of my partners at work, his son plays flag, but they play flag with helmets and shoulder pads.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and there's another league that plays with shells, so helmets and shells. And I remember telling him when he was talking about it, I was like, dude, shells and shorts is a placebo.
It really is. Yeah,
it's like that's like I hated it. I would get banged up more in shells and shorts than I did anytime I had shoulder pads on or full pads on. I hated it because we're going full speed. Everybody's going full speed, you know, and you don't all you have is shells on. So I would caution you if the only gripe, for lack of a better term, is practice conditions, that's going to be a tough sell. Now, if there's other things that are going on, different story. Like I would argue, again,
I guess the discussion began because of summer workouts may have allegedly gone over the allotted time that they're allowed per week, and they're allowed to be on the field with the coaches now. I heard about
that.
So, you know, they really felt like it was more of a job. You know, you're lifting, you're running, and then you're out in the field.
This is where like the leader in me and like I have a qualifying question. What was your team's record last year?
2-9. It's a new coach.
If that's true, we don't have anything to talk about. You don't need a union. You don't need a union.
That's not going to change.
You need to go in there and make some shit happen. Like, that just kind of got me fired up. Like, no, listen, Cully, we were 2-9.
Yes, I recall.
We were 2-9. Our practices sucked. Yep. Guess what? My last year we were 8-4. Your last year were 9-3, right? So it's like it paid off. You know, it paid off. So yeah, dude, I don't know what year you are, but I promise you, man, football sucks during this time. It sucks, but you know what sucks worse?
It's going to pay off. Losing sucks. Yeah.
That's what's worse. When you work this hard, or you know, maybe not, and you still lose, right? So it's like you got to put the time in, bro. You got to put the time in, man. Like, I do agree that some things from when we played needed to be changed, but you're gonna have a hard time getting me to waver on practice.
No,
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. A new coach is going to come in, set the tone. He's going to try to get things right. And I can understand that you may not like the situation, but unionizing, I mean, if it's about money, if it's about the hours you're together, all that stuff, I think give it a chance before you go there.
And I would say just a piece of elderly advice is buy in.
Yeah.
Buy in.
Yeah. Don't go against it. That you're
buy
absolutely
in.
right.
Yeah, like buy in
100%.
sooner than you're comfortable buying in.
100%.
And it'll all work out, man. Buy in, and because not for nothing, you're gonna need the leverage of a winning season to potentially unionize.
Exactly.
So you can't. You're not gonna have a lot of leverage at 2-9, bro. That's what I'm saying. When you're the one, when you're the catalyst, you're gonna take all the darts. You're gonna take all the darts.
You are. I totally agree.
2-9, they could argue to replace you.
Yeah, totally agree.
So
totally agree. You didn't leave in the transfer portal. God bless you, but give it a shot with this guy before you start wanting to make moves. It's another interesting question. Chris, I have been at my program for the last 2 years, and we have had very good mental health support. However, I would like to know your thoughts on what metrics should programs track to measure mental health outcomes and effectiveness.
That is a great question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Again, speaking to the evolution of the athlete, right? I love it. I love it. But well,
I think that's tough.
It's tough, but there are lead indicators, right? For instance, because it's one thing to have mental health tools to leverage or support staff to leverage.
Yes.
That's one thing. The other thing is your program an inclusive enough environment to receive and accept that? Right. So for instance, I just came back from a conference, right? The Disability End Conference. I was in Dallas. Great conference. I love going to it every year because it just gives me perspective. And there was a question raised to the group. And the question was something to the effect of what could your organization do to help what could your organization do to be more accessible, right? And it just got me to thinking,
That's a good question.
And I'm like, I don't know the answer, but it just got me thinking. And salespeople and athletes, there's not much difference, right? It's not much difference.
It really isn't. No.
Both are hard competitors. Both are drivers. Both are result oriented. And here's what my thought was. I've been with my company for 16 years now, and what I said and my thought was, I'm like, what we could probably do better of is having more representation of people with disabilities. Now, 1 in 5, I think, is the number, or 1 in 4 people have a disability in the world, right? So we know there's a large percentage. Now, not everybody self-discloses. Not everybody self-discloses because fear of retribution, fear of all these fears. So when I say, do you have an inclusive environment in that locker room from top down? That's what I mean. So does somebody feel comfortable saying I'm having a mental health challenge, or proactively going to those resources in lieu of having a mental health breakdown? And is that acceptable? Right? Is the staff and everybody is it an environment where your true authentic self can show up. You know,
right, where you can be vulnerable, like you said.
Yes. If so, the things, or let me start with if not. If not, some of the things you can measure are how many people that are quitting. People are going to quit. People are going to quit every year. So let's just be very clear. People are going to quit every year. That's from the dawn of time. That's been the case on football programs. But that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
Doing a survey, right? And again, there's boilerplate questions that you can have.
No, that's what Joey V does. He does the survey for mental health.
Exactly. So, you know, that's going to be the true indicator, like what that team is saying, because you can have all the resources in play, but if it's not socially acceptable for you to exercise your right to go see them, like for instance, in my company years ago, if you left at 5:00, you were getting the side eye.
Right.
Like people look at you, they'll look at your watch, their watch. Are you working banker's hours today?
Yeah.
So that's one of those situations,
yeah,
right, where it's not acceptable. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not acceptable. It's if you're leaving at 5, that means you're permitted to leave at 5, but culturally, it's not acceptable.
No,
right. Nope. So that's the thing that you have to first address. That like culturally, is it acceptable to lean into the mental health resources? You know?
Right.
And then from there, if the answer is yes, then now you survey the questions with things that matter. Like, you know, are you able to show up as your and quitting and you know, performance. That's the other thing.
Right.
Like
they're getting the help.
Because if people can't show up as their true authentic self, they can't perform at the highest level. So if you are getting if you have the resources and you're leveraging the resources, performance should increase. Maybe not, you know, exponentially, right?
No, but you should
incrementally. You should see something.
Yeah.
And if it's not on the team, from a team standpoint, and maybe from an individual standpoint, but those are the different things that you got to think about, right? What's the feel in the locker room, right? That's more subjective, but you'll know.
Yeah, that's a great answer right there. That makes a lot of sense, and I think that is a good way to go about it for sure. Those are easy metrics to start with, and then you can obviously go deeper from there. But that's how you can get it started.
Yeah.
So this comes from a volleyball player. Interesting. Well, who wants to know if you're related to the other Chris Bellamy? But that's not important.
The other Chris Bellamy? I don't know another Chris Bellamy.
Who is there? There's another. Isn't there a Bellamy that was on MTV or something?
That's Bill Bellamy.
That one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I am. But
okay.
Yeah, you can move on.
Yes. There you go. So you got a celebrity.
Yeah, tell me if they follow me on Instagram. There's pictures of us on my Instagram.
There you go. You go on his Instagram. You can see him. Chris, I play volleyball at a Division I program on the West Coast. I appreciate you and Steve doing a show on something that is taboo. Interesting. How do you think student athletes can be empowered to advocate for better mental health services? Whenever this is a girl, whenever I have said that I had needed help, I am sent to the infirmary. I see a doctor. I see a nurse practitioner, and I am usually discharged with a referral that takes months to be seen. And it's just been frustrating for me to deal with. I haven't been able to get the help I need. I've done telehealth. I would like to get help in person, but it doesn't seem like our school or university is concerned to provide services. And I want to advocate to have better mental health services, whether that's getting a group together to talk about it, to go to the coach, go to the athletic director. How do you think it would be best to advocate for these services? Again, that's
great question. And before I answer, that's the type of thing that I would see somebody wanting to unionize for.
Yes.
Right? Like that's
that part of it.
Yeah, but I have a two-part answer. And again, please understand, like, these are just suggestions. I'm not saying that this is factual and
these are opinions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So first thing I would do is go to your coach and ask your coach, so your coach is an employee of that university. And I would ask them, what is our employee EAP number, right? Which stands for Employee Assistance Program. Every company has something like that. And 90%, I won't say 90, but a large percent of the time it's free. So an employee assistance program, there's a line that you can call if you're in crisis, if you can call, like, this is how I found my first therapist, like my first personal therapist. I called our EAP line in 2020, and they told me my area. They asked me first was like, hey, do you want to hurt yourself? All of that, all those standards. So like, no. I just need somebody to talk to. So what they do is they find somebody in your area. So that's more immediate than the referral situation. So that would be the first thing I do is like, hey, coach, what's the EAP line you call? And for whatever reason, there's pushback and they can't give you that line, which I don't see why they couldn't. Like, then you escalate it, right? So then you, again, just
they asked about if that did happen, would it be possible to call the suicide helpline, or is that taking it too far?
No, it's never too far when you're talking about your mental health, right? If you are, even if you don't feel like you're suicidal, but if you feel like the suicide line can help you, maybe they can point you in the right direction. Because listen, there's varying degrees of mental health challenges, right? So you may not need a suicide helpline, but if you feel like you need something right now, call whoever you need to call, right? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, she's not satisfied with the telehealth. She'd like to see somebody in person, and there's nobody on campus in person.
So that's why you call the EAP line, because the EAP line is not necessarily for campus, right? It's to help you specifically whatever you need. So they'll search for the specific needs you have, right? If, hey, I'm having anxiety around performance, they'll find somebody that is in that realm, and then you call that person. Most times these therapists are part of this program. So most times they can get you, it might start with telehealth, like just immediately, but they can get you in after that. Like, I think I spoke to, and again, this was some time ago, but when I spoke to the therapist, I want to say it was 24 hours later. And then we set time to meet in person. So,
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that would be my first step. I would go there, and then I would, if the EAP line, if they give you pushback with the EAP line, I would probably ask to speak to my compliance director.
Yeah, because it's got to be a compliance violation.
And even if it's not a violation, they'll bring it. You bring it to their attention, they have to address it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. But I think the EAP line could be the most immediate, because I don't see, and I don't know the rules, but I don't see why a student athlete couldn't have access to the EAP line.
Yeah, they absolutely should be able to, and I think that would make that would make a big difference.
Yeah, and if you're finding yourself hitting roadblocks, right? That's when you start figuring out how many other people are dealing with the same thing on your team. Because volleyball teams aren't that big,
No,
so you can probably poll the whole team and definitely in a week, it's probably what 15, 20 people on a volleyball team. You can
yeah,
definitely poll
yeah,
the whole team in a week. So and find out. And if you get a dead end with the EAP line and you then pull the team and you find out the large majority, if you have that relationship, are willing to share with you that they suffer from the same challenges or variations of the same challenges, then you bring it to the coach.
that's what
And
I was
then
going to say.
if they don't do anything, reach out to your local news.
Yeah, I would. I totally agree. If the coach blows it off, absolutely.
Yeah, but I would start EAP with your coach.
EAP.
That doesn't work. Go to compliance, tell them what's going on. If that doesn't work, poll the team, bring it to the coach. That doesn't work, call the news and tell them what's happening. Because at that point, you've exhausted all your options.
So this comes from a softball player, down in Virginia. She says, Chris, thank you for all the information you provide. You have given a lot of solution-based information instead of not answering questions or word salad.
Word salad, yeah. Yep.
Word salad. What self-care practices are realistic for athletes with packed schedules? Because we practice in the morning very early. Classes are all day, night, and I feel like I don't have time for self-care in season or during the off season. And I know you mentioned a bit you meditate. Are there any other suggestions that you would have for self-care?
Yeah, I mean suggestions. Yes, I can give you a few, and I'll just say like you got to find what works for you.
Yes,
like you got to
everyone's different.
One of my best friends when growing up, he was a live wire, like an absolute live wire, and now he golfs, and that's like his self-care because it causes him to slow down.
Right.
So. Now, obviously, if you're a full-time student athlete, you're not going to have time to golf. But I'm just saying, like, these are things that people do. So when I was a student athlete, again, we didn't have the language for self-care. We didn't have the language for, any type of depression, or we didn't have that type of language. And if we did have the language, we didn't know what applied to us, right? Because we're athletes. So anyway, one thing that I unknowingly did during that time of stress unknowingly is I would take naps. And I know not everybody's a napper, which is why I'm saying that you got to find what works for you. But I would take naps. And what I found with naps, I would take naps when I got too overwhelmed. When it was just like, I can't think clear. I'm like, I got to reset. That's what my naps were for, to reset. So I would reset. And then again, for me, when I would wake up, I would have a clear outlook on whatever that was. And then 99% of the time, whatever challenge I was dealing with, it appeared to be easier for me to at minimum navigate, not say solve, but navigate. So that's what I would do. Another thing that's good that I do is journaling. Like journaling.
Yes, that's huge.
That's a great practice because it allows you to get, like, my first time journaling, true story. It was a company conference, and there was a breakout session, and the breakout session was journaling. Never journaled a day in my life, but The only reason why I did it is because I needed a new notebook, and I knew they were going to be giving out like the leather bound notebooks for this journaling course.
Wow.
So yeah, so I took it, and we got pens obviously, and then I got the book. I'm like, all right. Basically, I was like, I got what I came here for. I'm like, but I gotta go through the motions. So when they gave me the book, I'm like, man, I don't got shit to write about.
You didn't have any intention on actually journaling.
No, I just wanted the book. Like, I knew I was gonna get the nice notebook that they got on the company store, you know. So, and they were giving us prompts and stuff like that. I don't remember what the prompt was, but she said, just put the pen on the paper and see what happens, basically. And then I couldn't stop writing.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't stop writing.
It floods you.
I didn't know that there was so many things that was on my mind, because we're, again, like I said, salespeople and athletes are one and the same. Like, you're just taught to forge forward. So when I was forced to write something, I wrote a lot. But again, I came for the notebook. I didn't come to participate, you know.
That's
so
great.
So it just happened to be one of those things. Now, I don't journal as much as I used to, but
that is a good outlet.
It's a good outlet, you know. And again, for me, another thing that I do, a long drive in silence works wonders for me. A long drive in silence is like so
you really decompress.
Yeah, it's just like, because I'm not listening to music, and I'm just, you know, running through scenarios in my head, and I'm just giving myself the space to just think through whatever I got going on without, you know, family distractions, friends distractions, you know, spouse distractions. So that for me is good. You know, walks, that's another thing. Like, I've been doing a lot of walking, because it's the same concept, you know, and obviously then meditating, you know, but those are a lot of things
and you can meditate if you have 10 or 15 minutes, correct?
I mean, you can meditate if you have 5 minutes. I know people who meditate when they drive, you know, like, because you don't always have to close your eyes.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so there's a lot of different ways to get the same thing accomplished, you know, and that goes for whatever you land on that you find as like a stress reliever or self-care, as you said.
Okay. So this comes from I guess a big time athlete in Texas. Says, Steve, can you ask Chris? I have been a 3-year starter. I'm going into my 4th year, and there are a lot of expectations about my performance, and it's been weighing on me as training camp begins. How do athletes reconcile personal struggles with expectations to be fine in public, I guess, around teammates, around coaches, around media? I guess this is something that this player is been bothered with.
You blanked out, Cully. You said expectations on being refined?
To be fine in public.
Oh, to be fine.
To appear fine in public around, you know, your teammates, coaches. There's always media.
Because of just, I'm just trying to get clarity. How are you showing up fine, or, you know, normal, or whatever you want to say, despite the pressure? Is that the question?
Yeah. They're having some personal struggles with the expectations that are on them. A 3-year starter.
This high school or college?
It's college.
Okay.
It's college in Texas. They didn't say what school, but
that's fine.
they said that, there's high expectations on them for their senior year, and it's something that weighs heavily on them. And, they're struggling with it. They're not sleeping. They're not eating. And, they're trying to keep up appearances of being fine around teammates and coaches. And, they have personal struggles with it, with the expectations. And I guess it's more about seeking help. And, like you always say, it's okay not to be okay.
Was
what they said.
Yeah, that's so. Unfortunately, situations like this, it's very hard to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they may have tried to do that. So I would argue, right? The question is, how do you show up fine?
Yeah.
I would argue you don't, because you're not fine.
Yeah.
You're not fine. So you got to figure out what it is, and you may not be able to figure out what it is, but you can speak to someone who can help you figure it out. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to be like, I just don't feel like myself. Because here, I'll speak for myself. Here's what I know. Prior to having the literacy around mental health, the verbiage around mental health, I would say, I would use all kinds of other adjectives to describe depression, but I would not say depression.
The exact word, right?
I would not say depression, because for me, that was a sign of weakness. Now, again, that's just at the time, this me not being educated on the disease of depression. I just didn't know. But I'm like, no, if I say out loud that I'm depressed, then now that says I couldn't fix myself. Like, I need somebody to help me. Like, I need to depend. I need somebody to depend on to fix me. And one of the greatest quotes from my time not being well, right? Like, I didn't know at the time, but I was definitely walking into a depression. I just didn't know it at the time. My executive coach, shout out to my guy, Toby, he said to me, Bellamy, help does not equate to rescue. And
that's true.
And that was like the light bulb moment for me, because I'm like, yeah, if you're helping me, in my mind, that means I need you to rescue me. And if I need you to rescue me, that means I'm not the man for the job. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, no, I'm not asking for help, because if I ask for help, people are going to think I can't perform. And it's like, no, he had to help me with my thinking. It's like, that doesn't mean you need to be rescued, man. That means you need somebody to maybe wrap their arms around you and help you, guide you, but you don't need rescue. You just need guidance.
Right,
so
exactly.
That's what I would say. It's like, first things first, what's the conversation you're having with yourself? Like, what is the conversation you're having with yourself during these moments, right? Because there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there that you probably need to speak to somebody. Clearly, it sounds like you perform, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be starting, and you wouldn't feel this pressure. I promise you, people who don't play don't have this pressure. So you're clearly performing. And listen, man, I had my moments in college where I was a star, and it is a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And then people, they start looking at you, and it's like, oh, he's going to do it again. And it's like, bro, I'll never forget. I did an interview on Etzel's show, and they were like, this is when I was having my run, and they were like, any predictions for how many yards you got? I'm like, no predictions how many yards I'm going to get this week. No, like, I'm not, no predictions. I'm going to go out there and play every play like it's my last, but no predictions, because you can get caught up in that game. Yeah. You can get caught up in that game, and you can lose yourself, So I would ask you, what about those events, press, teammates, whatever, what about those events have you not feeling fine? Like what is it specifically? Because you may need to do some work there, but I would, regardless of anything, check the conversations you're having with yourself. What are you saying to yourself? And then reach out to a resource, like again, EAP line, there has to be something.
That's a great reason.
Yeah. If you're a 3-year starter at any college in Texas, that's Division I, you got some resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got some resources. You may not be aware of them yet, but there's some resources down there.
And they're going to want to help you, obviously.
Exactly.
Critical to the team success.
Yeah, but I would argue that there's something there internally too, that some self-worth. That's what I would say. There's some self-worth things going on that you want to just think about. That's all.
It just hit you now too, especially. All right, we'll be right back and then we'll finish up. Down south, we have Julius Williams, Jordan Harris, and the rest of the team of the Trench Mob. They train offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments and college showcase camps all across the country. They have sent kids to schools like Florida, Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. They have sent the highest percentage of kids who work with them to Division I schools on scholarship. To work with the best, go to trenchmobfootball.com. Ned Von Young runs the Fresh Fold Laundry Company in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, a high-end laundry service. You book online, put your laundry out in a clear plastic bag. They pick it up, wash, dry, and fold it for you in 48 hours. They also offer an expedited service if you need that as well. They have an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly, where you can get your laundry done that way. They offer deals for college students. So if you want your laundry done, you can do it in your own dorm. They have a pickup and now a delivery service. So you can have your laundry done without leaving the comfort of your own home or dorm room. To sign up, go to their website, my-freshfold.com. All right. We're going to give Chris one last question here because I didn't realize I've kept them an hour so far.
All good. We haven't recorded in a while, so you're good.
So this is interesting. This comes from a football player in the Northeast. Sounds like Rutgers. He is a captain. He said, Chris, I love this platform and I feel like it's a safe space for athletes to vocalize their true feelings, and we often do not have that. You mentioned in one of the episodes how when you became a manager, you talked about times when you were vulnerable, and it helped you relate to the people working under you. He is asking, I am a captain, and is there a way to model vulnerability without undermining your teammates' confidence in you?
That is a great question.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Because this is so true story, right? This was probably, 12, 13 years ago. So we had a high performing sales leader in our company, one of my guys, the one everybody looked up to in the sales ranks, you know, because he was just a good guy and he was a high performer. He resigned, like he left the company, you know, and at the time we had a new director. So similar to the situation when the first question about a new coach, we had a new director. So we were still trying to feel him out and learn who he is. And this might have been his second year. It was his second year. I'll never forget this. My guy who was leaving, you know, he had been there maybe, let's just say maybe 10 years at that point.
Oh, wow.
And again, most senior guy. I remember, I'm like, damn, what happens when we lose Z? Is what my thought was. And then I looked to my leader, right? The one that's going to help us see through this. And he starts fucking crying. And I remember, I'm like, bro, this ain't the time to start crying. Like, you in front of the whole team. You're the leader. Like, you're the one that's like, we're supposed to look at you and see strength, right? Now, that's one scenario, right, of him maybe showing vulnerability at the wrong time as a new leader, right? Yeah. But that's one. A great example of a leader showing vulnerability, which encouraged the team, and I would argue made them play better in the second half. If you get a chance, Google or go on YouTube and look up Ed Reed's halftime speech, University of Miami. If you watch that, I'm getting chills thinking about it. If you watch that, he shows immense vulnerability. Right? I think he might have separated his shoulder or something like that game. And he's like, he's crying. He's like, don't ask me if I'm effing hurt. I am hurt. And he's just crying. He's like, he's not, you could tell it's not a speech. You could tell it's raw emotion. You know, it's raw emotion. It was real.
Yeah.
And he wasn't showing defeat. So hear me clear. He was showing that he's human. He was showing that he hurts too. Even though he's the captain, he's showing all of that. And that was arguably Ed Reed's best game of his career. And that was the U, right? Like the U, right? That was a different time.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, you can show vulnerability and still lead. And you just have to always be cognizant of your audience. Because you can't, as a leader, you can't have the same conversations with everybody.
Right, exactly.
Right? You got, like, if let's just say you're a lineman, right? And you're a captain, you can have a different conversation with them than you can with the linebackers.
Yeah.
Now, there's messaging. First things first, I would imagine you're not the only captain. You all got to get on the same page. You're captains.
That is true. Yeah.
Right? If you're not the only captain, and on a football team, there's very rarely one captain, you have a meeting with them and you talk about what you want to get accomplished and you get them on board. Now, that is a group, that 3, 4, how many ever you got, you can show whatever emotion you want. You can get as real, as vulnerable. You can cry, you can do whatever with that crew. Like, this is another leadership lesson. A lot of leaders think the people who report to them is their team. On paper, that's your team. But the team is really your peers. So as a captain, your peer is other captains, right? That's what you're going to use to drive the culture, to drive performance. Those other guys, they, in this case, they don't report to you, but they look up to you. That's your team. But your real nucleus team are the other captains. In corporate, your nucleus team are your peers in the region, are your peers in your division, not the people that report to you. They are on your team, but your team, the way you drive results are through your peers and other leaders. You know what I'm saying? So that group, that nucleus group, you can be as vulnerable as you want. And I would encourage you to do so and let them see that and help them understand that something has to change, right? Because if you wouldn't be having this conversation with me if you were great with how everything was going. So
I agree.
You got to figure out what that is, and you deliver the realest message to that captain crew, and then you all get together and figure out how you want to cascade that message out to the team
together. Yeah.
You know, and obviously, if you're the catalyst, you may do most of the talking, you know, but there's nothing wrong with showing vulnerability during that big team meeting. You know, what I'm saying is you can't show defeat in that team meeting, but you can show defeat with them captains. That's okay.
Yes.
Like that's okay, because you're not defeated. You're just feeling defeated. And you get together in the strength in numbers, and then you have that big meeting. Yeah, if you got to throw some shit, throw some shit. You got to cry. You know, but
that's the place to do it.
But it has to be with direction.
Yes.
It has to be with direction. It can't just be emotion just for the sake of emotion.
With a purpose.
It has to be founded in something. So it's like you lean on, and every team has pillars, right, that they live off of, and vision statements and all of that stuff. Whatever it is you need to tie in, you tie that in. But yeah, man, you get as raw as you need to with those captains, and you go to that team with a mission. You show that same emotion, and you get them focused on something. Again, raw emotion for the sake of raw emotion is not helping nobody. But you get them, you use that as fuel to get them to drive where they need to go, where you all need to go. Good question.
Well, Chris, you hit the nail on the head. Guys, thank you for sending in the questions. You in the comments, great questions. You did a fantastic job. Chris knocked it out of the park, and he comes on and I throw him for a loop. The first question, I give him the hardest one.
My expectations are crazy questions, you know, going forward, Cully. Yeah. So you can keep the softball questions. Let's get the 90-mile-an-hour ones. I'm cool.
Yeah, no, you're good with them. You're good with them. No, but thank you. And guys, I know that camp is starting up. Just do your best. Have fun out there, and you know, don't worry about unions yet. Just go play. You were 2-9 last year. Just listen to your coach and go from there. But everything else, we appreciate the female contribution, the volleyball player. You know, that's great to hear. And Chris will help anyone, and he is the man who's been through it all, and he knows it all as well, because being an athlete and being a star, you experience so many different things, and Chris has on the field and off of it. So we appreciate it. The guys we didn't get to, we will get to at another time. I can't keep Chris 2 hours. I didn't even realize it was an hour. It went so fast. But thank you, Chris. That was awesome. And the people were very, very happy with your answers. And we'll get some good clips from this too. So again, email me. You can DM me any questions, and we will get them on next time.
Great, Cully, as always.
That may be the one. Yeah, no, he does not have his PhD, no, but he might.
I got a bachelor's, guys. Don't give me this much credit.
He got a PhD. Where did he get his PhD?
if you mean public high school diploma from New Britain High, that's where I got it. That's the only PhD I have.
All right, Chris Bellamy, former UConn star, host of the Hip Hop Podcast, All Black Men Need Therapy, and as you've seen, a mental health advocate.
Who is vaccinated? Show yourself, vaccinator. Who is the vaccinated?
Champion for father rights.
It's definitely somebody we play with. Sorry.
No, I know. I know that is. Yeah. But great job. Thank you. And we will do this again soon. And just remember, When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges,